Hey yo, how's it going everyone? Entropy here today with another video. Here's the finale of Season 1 of G-Stat 4, Soul Strike against the Supreme. As usual, this video will follow our three-part structure, starting with a brief overview of the events, then highlighting some key units, and lastly finishing up with some hindsight in the competitive scene. So, without further ado, let's begin. Starting us off, this month was the month of January for JP. As you have noticed by now, we are around 2 months behind JP. So this was the new year, so there are some new year events. We have a Genesis event, we have an Imaginary Tower event, and a couple other things. So without further ado, let's keep going. But right before that, I forgot my obligatory statement that this is not a one-to-one guarantee of the global experience. This is a guesstimation based on what we've seen at JP and what we know about global. So please take this with a grain of salt, but it's basically close enough. Starting off with the banner, G-Stat 4 Soul Strike against the Supreme features 6 clans: Gear Chronicle, Royal Paladin, Neo Nectar, Link Joker, Shadow Paladin, and Angel Feather. What's good? Skip to part 2 if you want to see the rankings and keycards to look out for, or part 3 to see some lists, but before that, let's talk events and others. Starting off with the new month, we finally get the 20 packs. JP is always on the 20 packs, and I always whine about it in these set overviews, and finally Global got the 20 packs instead of the 15 last month. So right now for Global, it is 5 on day 1, 10 on day 2, and then 1 for the next 5 days, instead of 20 on one day, but we'll take it. Any pack is good. Any pack is good. Next up, some changes to the game. All starting Vanguards have this new errata. At the start of the next turn, if you're going first, draw 1 card for all fights barring story and challenge fights. So you will now draw 2 if you go first, and there's no change in the draw 1 of the second player. So essentially, both players will draw 2 cards on their first turn. Now, this was a change that they tried to make to balance out going first, because going second means you get to stride first, and that feels really strong. Does this change really make a big difference? As someone who has played JP a good amount, not really, but it's definitely better than nothing. Next, we have some other changes to texts. One of the key ones is Shadow Paladin's Fianna and her fellow witches, where instead of saying grade 3s in the skill, it says they will now say triggers. So this will include calling out grade 0s from the deck, including Heal Guards. So this is a pretty big buff, honestly. And I can't wait to play more Shadow Witches because it is one of my favorite archetypes in the game. Next up, let's talk about new features. One of the new user interface changes are the personalized skins. Now, before you were locked in the default Cardfight skin for each clan. For example, you had Mai as Neo Nectar, or you had Aichi as Royal Paladin. Now, as you can see from the pictures, you can actually select which skin you want to represent your clan with. This is really great, and I'm surprised they haven't done this earlier, but now is better than never, for sure. For the VP rewards, something that I want to mention also is that while in G-Stat 1 and G-Stat 2, as well as G-Stat 3, the VP reward included the specific new set plus old OG packs, from this point onward, it will include G-Stat 1. So G-Stat 4 will include G-Stat 1 packs, G-Stat 5 will include G-Stat 2 packs, and I'm expecting G-Stat 6 to include G-Stat 3 packs. So this will be the trend moving forward. Everything else doesn't change that much. But basically, this is something to note, that you will have less access to OG packs and more access to G packs, which should definitely help players access to GRs better late than never, for sure. In addition, right as I was about to record this video, as I was fixing up the images and whatnot, we had some news. Now, this is global exclusive content. This is pretty amazing. There is a playmat implementation campaign. So we will be getting 5 different playmats. One of them will be free. Chronojet will be free from doing missions or logging in or whatever. But you will have access to 4 others. Chrono Dragon Next Stage, you have Exelix Messiah, you have Altmile, you have Asha as well. So this is really exciting. You will get these medals by doing missions. You will get packs as well, which is really cool. But of course, you can always also use paid gems to get these playmat medals. So that's always an option. Of course, they want your money. But we also get 5 packs of the new set if all players use the applicable playmats. So very, very nice, very generous of them, even though this means that I'm not expecting the new year event, because evidently it's not the new year. But you know, this is really nice because I don't think JP has any news on this yet. So this is truly going to be a global exclusive experience, and I'm excited. Next, we have some new fight skins. We have Rin for Angel Feather. Of course, you have the story unlocked as well, so that's access to a very nice home screen. Of course, some backgrounds and story, if you're interested in that. And gems, of course, that's the biggest thing. We also have the revival of some My Room stuff. Not that it really matters, because Global doesn't have events towards My Room, but it's there, I guess. We have the View Coupon Shop, the V Coupon Shop return of Things Saver and Aglobel. So if you missed out, you can pick them up. And of course the sleeves corresponding to them. SG Metal Shop has an update with the new year on JP. We have the Gear Chronicle Super Deck. So, wow. Well, there you go. So it does include most of the stuff from G-Set 1. It only includes stuff from G-Set 1 plus a double rare Fighters Collection Stride. But if you're a new player, this is actually a pretty good place to start with, because you do get countercharging PGs, you have Stride Fodders, you have Legion as a mechanic you can pick up on, you have Resist, you have Chronojet, which is a great unit, and you have 4 Strides, which all the other Super Decks does not provide. So pick 2 of these up if you're a new player. You have 2 Super Deck medals, and slap on some G-Set 4 stuff. That's pretty neat, honestly. That's pretty neat. So I'm really excited for this. You know, with this, I feel like I'm more inclined to introduce people to the game. So maybe you can do that too. As per the events, we have a clan event in the form of Genesis from the 5th to the 13th of January. So expect that in the earlier part of the month, with the boost skins including Kanzaki for Shadow Paladin, Taiyo for Gold Paladin, Rin from Angel Feathers, and Xion from Royal Paladin. So generally the way it works is that it's characters that interact with the clan event character. So there you go. We also have the Imaginary Tower event for the second half of the month that came on January 16th. So, you know, it includes Bruce, which is pretty amazing with the Final Rush keyword. Get ready with your teams if you haven't already, because we're going to do this all over again. And rewards are quite nice. It includes packs, so don't miss out on that. And we also have a deck profile of this based on the Gear Chronicle clan, so check that out if you're interested and want to see Bruce in action. Next, for the last week of the month, there was the VS United Sanctuary event. This was a small one. Basically, you're just fighting, doing some like AI fights, and by doing the fights, you're collecting resources or like drops to trade in for sleeves, for titles, whatever. And of course, Weakness is a Sin. It's amazing. Go pick that up if you haven't already. For the rank rewards, we have the first half of the month being Cleric Sword Dragon. So you have the Cleric Sword Dragon as the rank reward, you have the sleeve, and Aura Gazer Doom as the sleeve as well. So this is really cool. I quite like this art. And for the second half of the month, we have Gavrael Waifu. This is definitely gotta grind for this, right? The sleeves is Gavrael herself, and you have the Raphael, the Generation Rare for Angel Feathers as the sleeve as well. So that's super cool. Next, we have the New Year event. I don't expect this to come over to Global, but we can still briefly talk about it. But basically, by completing missions, opening packs, and getting some lucky bag tickets, you can exchange for many rewards. I did talk about this event in a YouTube short, so you can check that out if you haven't already. Then there are some ways to exchange. So basically, you are rolling the gacha or logging in to get these tickets. You will then basically use these tickets in another gacha to roll for, you know, first place, second place, third place, fourth place, fifth place tickets. It's a lottery system, and based on whatever you got, you can then exchange for rewards. So this includes packs, it includes these paintings that allow you to exchange for these beautiful aesthetics, like the backgrounds or the icons and whatever. So that is very cool, and of course skip tickets and those other stuff if you still want those. And of course, if you are a pay-to-win player or willing to invest in the game or, you know, support the game, they have these lucky bags as well, which includes packs or medals or packs and medals or packs and more packs, and of course these lottery tickets as well, so you can keep doing more of these and get more of the drops for the very pretty art. So that's basically it for the first part of the video. Next part, we have key cards to look out for, so please check out the Vanguard Zero database for all the units from the set. And this rating is based on the investment value, not necessarily the best cards, in my personal opinion. I can't cover all the units, so I'm only going to cover a few key units and try to illustrate my personal opinion on them. So the best clan out of this set, in my opinion, is Angel Feathers. Now, why Angel Feathers? You know, you never really talk about Angel Feathers. Actually, you don't even play Angel Feathers. That's true. But I would like to say results speak for themselves, right? Like, you see the most recent tournament results, Angel Feathers is on top. It's consistently on top, and there is a reason why. The cards are good, the cards are great, and waifu is also very nice. It's not just the Gavrael stuff though, you also have Celestial stuff, which definitely makes an impact. And you know, GR literally just says heal 1, so that's pretty good, right? Let's talk about the Gavrael stuff. It helps you put something into your damage, you need to call stuff from the damage, you get to get extra power. You have Raphael, the GR, it's on the triple rare, which just says Persona Flip, heal 1, which is good. Raziel, which is your generic, you know, rearguard when boosted, attacking Vanguard, Cast 1. It just helps you multi-attack. And then you have Raziel, the triple rare Stride, which says when placed so less to return all cards from your damage to your deck, and then put the top part of your deck into your damage zone for each returned card. So this way, you know, mainly you can counter charge, but you can also fix up whatever units you can pick from the damage zone. So overall, quite like these cards. I never got the chance to play them on JP, so I can't really tell you how the gameplay works. But if you want to see more, check out Different Fight, check out maybe Zura, or check out the Winter Circuit stuff for sure. It's a really strong clan, don't miss out on them. Next, we have Messiah, which are also pretty godly. I have gameplay of this, and you can see it's pretty nuts. It does what Amnesty does, but better. You know, you're flipping over an Amnesty, and instead of just getting the crit and power on the Vanguard Circle, you're distributing the power to your rear guards that got unlocked. You are getting an extra crit as usual, but you're also retiring your opponent's units that got unlocked, so you have more access to multi-attacks without having to hit over whatever, you know, they unlocked as well. In addition, you have support like Dark Metal Chameleon, which is resist and helps you countercharge when unlocked. You have Lady Battler of the Accretion Disc, which helps you do more lock shenanigans during battle phase. And you have Deleter Chaos, which has some deleter support, deleting your opponent's Vanguard and locking 2 of your opponent's rearguards. So it's nice, but we're mainly here for the Messiah stuff, and Messiah stuff is good. Next, we have Aerial Divine Knight Altmile with Altmile support. This GR is really solid as well. You just call any grade 2 from your deck and give it plus 5k, so you can see that this card is probably going to be at least a 2, maybe a 4 of in most Royal Paladin decks moving forward. You also have support like Menizel, which is a better Starlight Valnist, but for Altmile only. You have Miron, which says on play soul less 1 draw 1, and you have some Sanctuary support in the form of Sanctuary Guard Arc, which is quite neat because you did get some units in Founder's Collection, so you can add that to your collection as well. Next, we have Gear Chronicle, which I also have gameplay of, also pretty neat. Next stage helps you multi-attack with your Vanguard. Of course, when you finish attacking with next stage, your Chrono Jet should be a GB2, so it has the guard restrict and the extra 5k to hit numbers, which is quite nice. You have Steam Fighter of Bali, which helps you fix your Vanguard. You know, just in case you ride into Bali, after you stride, you can put this back to your bottom deck to put Chrono Jet into the heart. You have Upstream Dragon, which becomes a 14k beater and replaces itself with a grade 1, which is quite neat. And you have Ur Ningen, which helps you countercharge when you return something on your opponent's board during your main phase if your Vanguards are Chrono Jet. So overall, very solid support. You know, stuff like Upstream is meta dependent, but you know, stuff like Bali helps you increase your consistency, and next stage is a finisher for sure. Next, we have Neo Nectars with Asha support. Asha helps you attack from the back row, gives you more power than ever. Very nice. You have 3 grade 2s that are quite neat. You have Wisteria Knight, you have Saliana, and you have Maiden of Lost Memory. Basically what they do is they get extra power and they get draw. So they are pretty neat in terms of the options. They kind of overlap in terms of utility. I'm not the best player for Neo Nectars, I'm not super familiar with them, but I definitely do see some of these being played around with, so definitely give them a try and see what works for you if you are a Neo Nectar main. And next we have Fenrir with Genesis. Now this is a clan event, so you aren't going to be having as many options as other clans, but it's still really worthy to mention. You know, Fenrir is a great unit, it gets extra crit, you know, by itself, and it also have abilities to soul charge and do more shenanigans like that. You have Vanguard, which is the GR, not a triple rare, which helps you when at the start of your drive step, you can check top 4 to add any number of the cards on the top of your deck. You can basically play around with the order of your drive checks and manipulate it, which is quite neat. You have Angelic Wiseman, iconic Wiseman, which helps you Soul Blast during attack and get extra power. And you have Dreaming Dragon, which is a stand trigger, which returns itself to your deck to return all other cards with heal other than heal from your drop zone to your deck. And then if 10 or more were returned from the drop zone, you get to draw a card. So basically what it does, it helps you make sure you don't deck out, but also replenish your deck and draw a card or 2 or 3 maybe. So it's quite neat. And last but not least, we have Cray Elementals. And I love mentioning the Cray Elementals because they're quite important, because they're usually easily accessible to all players, and they're usually, well, they are playable in all clans. So Blizza is really good because it is a 1 card setup for GB2 on your first turn. You know, you don't really care about the extra power, but it could help you scale up that Vanguard column, I guess. And you also have the rare grade 2 Pokur, the Earth Elemental, which says when placed, if your G zone has a face-up Cray Elemental, so plus 1 to unlock one of your lock cards. So this was really valuable in the TCG because we didn't have Harmonics. You know, Harmonics used to just be a vanilla 16k stride, but you know, I guess Poker is less important right now, but it's still very nice if you just really hate Link Joker. Well, you have something like this to deal with them. And lastly, Shadow Paladin. I put Shadow Paladin last because I don't think they're actually that good, and I'm really biased towards Shadow Paladin, but you know, it's hard to justify. Orgasm Doomed kind of does the similar thing. You know, you get to add cards to your hand, and I guess you get an extra crit if you have an Aura Geyser Dragon face up already, if there's 3 or more. So it's meant to be a second stride since it's GB2 anyways. But you also have some interesting stuff in the form of the main PG, which is your first countercharging PG in the G era, which says if you have a little Skull Witch Nemain in your drop zone, when you use a skill, you get to draw a card and discard a card from your hand at the start of your next turn. So I thought this card was bad, but actually the good thing is that it gives you that like top deck moment, right? Like when you use this Nemain to guard, you could top deck into something else and guard with it, like a heal or a PG itself. And you only need to discard at the start of your next turn, so you get to, you know, do some shenanigans if you're low on resources. Next, you have Maclear, which used to be the old PG, but I guess it got nerfed, buffed, I don't know, to a grade 2. Basically what it says is it's a 9+5 during your opponent's turn if you have 1 or less back row rearguards. This is like a slightly better 8+5, but it's not that big of a deal, but it's still nice against some matchups in some formats like the Pro League. It is a nice tech option against, you know, clans like Pale Moon or Aquaforce. It's hard to hit over that 14k wall. And lastly, we have Witch of Secret Books Idra, which is a countercharger for witches. It's really nice to see Witch get support, and as we mentioned, Witches got errated, so very nice overall. So lastly, let's talk about some tournament results in part 3 of the video. Let's talk about G Set 4 meta. This was January 29th. You can see Angel Feather already climbing in popularity. At the number 1 slot, you have Shadow Paladin, Link Joker, Gear Chronicle, and Bermuda, followed right behind at around 10 to 20%-ish. But, you know, you can see that very, very clearly you have your top contenders right there. And things are going to change, though. With the G-Set 5 meta, you have this from February 11th. You can see it's much more diverse, actually. You have Bermuda, you have Gears, you have Link Joker, you have Murakami, Angel Feather, Shadow Paladin, Grand Blue, Aquaforce. They're all around 8 to 12%. So this is really nice to see. I think at this point, it's still like week 1 and a bit of the set. So people are still figuring things out, still picking, you know, their favorite, you know, clans that has always been tried and true, like Bermuda, I guess. but you can see that the winner is actually Granblue and Aquaforce. So just because a deck is popular doesn't mean that they're the best, doesn't mean that they topped. This is something that I always try to mention, that, you know, take these stats as a grain of salt. It's popularity, not necessarily effectiveness, but in general, you can infer that what's popular is generally probably going to be what's good. And I guess it's not the case here, but it can be the case. And of course, we have the official championship that happened a week or two ago. So let's talk about the list. So this is the first place. You have Keto, a name that I think we should all be familiar with by now. We have Granblue, we have Angel Feathers, and Aquaforce. Now, Granblue and Aquaforce support was from G set 5, but Angel Feather, you can see most of the stuff G set 4, right? You have the Straw Feathers, you have the PGs, you have the triple rare multi-attacker, you have the stand trigger, you have the GRs and all that. Of course, it's mainly a Celestial deck, which you will see is the most popular variant, but you will definitely need some Angel Feather stuff, and definitely the new support from G set 4 definitely does make them do better. We have second place Komai Senshu, which played Pale Moon, Aquaforce, and Angel Feathers. Now, Pale Moon is Silverthorn. Well, they got support in G set 5, I guess. Aquaforce, G set 5 again. And Angel Feathers, again, G set 4. So you can see top two both played Angel Feathers, both played Celestial, but with G set 4 stuff. And you can see that it's performing very consistently. It's performing very well. And definitely can't overlook them. And I guess another notable player in the top 8 is Onikria. Sorry if I mispronounced this name, but you can see Bermuda, of course, it's just solid Nemuel stuff. But you also see Gear Chronicles and Royal Paladins, so they are not that far behind, as you can see from the popularities. You know, these clans are still showing, and just because they didn't top doesn't mean they're not good. They're just maybe not the best, but they can definitely compete. You can see that the Gear player is playing a lot of the new stuff. The grade 3 that fixes your run to Chronogen. You're playing the Counterchargers, grade 1s, you're playing the next stages. And for the Royal Paladin deck, you're playing the new grade 2s, you're playing the new Stride. So definitely the new set presents a lot of opportunities for existing clans. Angel Feathers obviously was the one clan that actually got good amount of cards to actually build a new build. The other 5 clans mainly just got a little bit of support here and there, but you can see other clans like Link Joker, Neo Nectars, they also showed up during these tournaments, and I definitely think that they're competitive, and I think that this set is definitely a pretty good set to, you know, spend some gems or resources in, because, you know, stuff like Alt Mile, stuff like Next Stage, these are going to be staples, and you can't go play these clans without them for a very long time for sure. So that's basically it. Again, while I try to reflect everything that went on in JP, the global experience will not be one-to-one. As you can see, we do get some exclusive stuff in form of playmats. And yeah, let me know down below which clan you're most hyped for. Are you going to be spending gems and resources on this set, you know, or are you going to be saving for set 5 or maybe set 6? Set 6 is going to be something similar to this. You know, there's going to be Gear Chronicle support, Neo Nectar support, Royal Paladin support, Shadow Paladin support, Link Joker support, and one other clan, Kagero. So, you know, most of the stuff from there is going to be supporting clans from here and supporting clans from the first 3 sets. So it's gonna be kind of hard to keep grinding on it, but that's the part of the game, and I hope you enjoy the ride for what it's worth. Before we end this video, thank you so much for watching. Thank you, members of the channel. Nova Grappler Kanwi, thank you to Mello, thank you Casey, and thank you ZBD for supporting the channel by being members. And you can check that out for yourself as well if you want to support the channel. Of course, liking the video if you liked it, subscribing if you haven't already and want to see more, that definitely helps as well. And I can't wait to see how this meta, and of course the playmats. I'm just so excited about the playmats. We've been playing this game for 2 years, and finally we have playmats. It's pretty insane, but better late than never, right? So that's basically it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the G set 4 meta in around less than a day. So can't wait. I'll see you soon. Bye.